G'day guys and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're talking about 6.5 Creedmoor versus a Sambar shoulder. So I know what you're all saying, 6.5 Creedmoor in Victoria is not legal for hunting Sambar, but if you cross the border into New South Wales or South Australia, it bloody well is. So we're going to test it, we're going to see whether the people who say that it is inadequate for Sambar are correct. Now, as we all know, a lot of Americans use 6.5 Creedmoor to hunt elk, albeit they usually will not hunt extended ranges because, it's not the best cartridge in the world, but it goes all right. So, when I did this test, I shot this with my new Hauer Superlight, which has a 20-inch barrel. So obviously we do get a little bit of velocity loss, but it's not a great deal. It's not as much as you would probably think. I'm shooting factory 143 grain ELDX, Hornady ammunition. Out of my gun, I chronoed this round, hitting the target at 2580 feet per second, which gives us a muzzle energy of 2,113 foot-pounds, and the energy as it struck the target at 100 meters is 1891 foot-pounds. So it's well above the 1,500 foot-pound threshold for elk. When we talk about Sambar, generally we're talking, 1,300 foot-pounds. Because 1,000 being like whitetail being a similar sized deer to a fallow, just so you Australians can wrap your head around the size differences, but also you Yanks, because we have different deer species than what you have, this is not really, the same thing. My instinct was that it wasn't going to penetrate very far, being that, it's only a small cartridge, the 6.5 Creedmoor, it doesn't have that much bang behind it. Being that it's an ELDX, and I've had a lot of drums with ELDX in the past, especially at short ranges where they've completely disintegrated, I didn't think it was going to go that far. But as you can see in the following footage that I'm about to show you, it actually did quite well. Now, with our velocity loss, we've actually only lost about 150 feet per second, being that we've lost 4 inches of barrel length. So that's actually not too bad. For what I'm going to be using that rifle for, that is actually fairly good. I would really love to be able to use this rifle as a Sambar stalking rifle, but being that 6.5 Creedmoor is not legal because of the width of the projectile, I can't use it. So just so you know, 6.5 is not actually the bullet diameter. The bullet diameter of a 6.5 is actually 6.7. So the minimum legal size being 6.8 is actually 0.01 millimeters difference. So should 6.5 Creedmoor be legal? Should any of the 6.5 cartridges be legal? Because you've got 6.5 Swede, which is an excellent cartridge, 6.5 PRC, fantastic cartridge. A lot of Americans shoot elk with that, elk being bigger than Sambar. I am sure that it would be perfectly adequate for the deer we have here in Australia, as you'll see in the following footage. So let's jump across the range and see how this bullet does against a real Sambar shoulder. Fucking classic, the GoPro just shit itself. It was on 80% and it's turned off, won't turn back on again, so I don't know if I filmed that or not. Whee. Straight through. That's actually a pretty big fucking hole. Little tiny entry hole just there, but that's a massive exit hole. Right, there's a piece of lead in this one. Where's the jacket? There's the jacket. So complete core jacket separation. That's gone through 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll call it 5 because of the lead being in there, but realistically it's 4 because that's where it's separated. So as you can see from that, we had a fair bit of penetration. We had, let's call it 5 milk jugs of penetration. That's after going through a Sambar hind being female, shoulder, and that's a fair bit of penetration. Now, when we compare the two other cartridges shot with the same test, you'll see that the results are fairly similar. Now, this is a video in a series of videos where I'm going to be comparing a lot of different cartridges against real Sambar shoulders, just to see ballistically what actually bloody happens, so we're not speculating and or using clear ballistics gel, which has absolutely no correlation to a real animal. So stay tuned for the other episodes that are going to come out, and also stay tuned for the final episode where I'm actually going to compare side by side all the cartridges that I've shot during this test. So I hope you got something out of that. I will see you next video, and hooroo.